All right, y'all, let's take a walk through the homestead and get some grain for these mushrooms. A very cost-effective grain I like to use is Tractor Supply's Wild Bird Seed. I got this whole 30-pound bag for I think about 10 bucks. First step in preparing your grain is going to be soaking it. I like to fill it up with water, and when I do it, I remove all of the sunflower seeds. That's only so that we can get a clearer view of our mycelial growth as the mycelium colonizes our grain. We're going to allow that to soak for at least 24 hours. The next day, you want to add your grain to an already simmering pot of water. That's to remove further impurities, and you'll see why in just a second. You see how dirty that is? Oh man, this removes further impurities, and you want to run it under cold water immediately to make sure that your grains don't cook or become too slimy. And you will let it drain out for a couple of hours. Next, we're going to make our lids. Our lids are going to have one injection port and one FAE or fresh air exchange hole. And you'll see how I add my injection ports in just a moment. These injection ports are really cheap. I think they're like maybe $8 for like 300 of them. And I like the plastic tops because they're just a lot easier to work with. The tool that I'm using is called a solder. That was about $6. It was one of the best investments that I made when it came to my mycology journey because I use it a lot for different modifications. Next, I'm just going to put some bleach and soap and water in the jars to clean them out, sanitize them a little bit before I load my grain up. Now just towel drying all of the jars. We don't want any extra moisture sitting around the jars when we put our grain in them. Now it's time to fill up our jars. I was using a spoon, and then I think I switched to my hand because it was just a lot faster. We want to fill the jars about 3/4 of the way up to the top. We want to leave a little bit of space for shaking your jars and breaking up your mycelium. So next you want to cover your FAE hole with micropore tape, also called medical tape. It's very important that you cover these holes just so that no other spores from any other invasive molds or bacteria can get inside of your jars and contaminate your grains. Last step is to pressure cook them at 25 psi for an hour and a half to 2 hours. And I like to cover the tops with aluminum foil or this aluminum pan to keep the water from back dripping in there. And